everybody, it's Tanner from TannerWillDesigns.com bringing you your TNT video over at AboveEveryStudio.com today. Hope you're all having a great day, and in today's video we're going to be making a background out of sentiments. So we're making a really cool Christmas card today, just using some sentiments. I'm using a paper tray ink stamp set, and I'm using a Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz stamp set. Now I might incorporate some other stamp sets along, but I've sort of been lining up where I want all our sentiments to go. I want to sort of mash a lot in there and not have that much space available, but we're going to see what we can do. So what I have in plan is to stamp this Tim Holtz stamp set Merry Christmas first, because I want to make sure it gets where it's supposed to go. I want it directly in the middle. And then these other ones, we're going to go from the left to the right. Just like when you're reading, we're going to work from the left to the right. So have this on your acrylic block and make sure you have some ink colors that are really Christmassy around you. I would prefer white, red, green, black. If you wanted to do a color on a color, the color cardstock you're using and the stamp ink pad that you're using, that would work really good together. We're going to be using this ink pad, which is Crumb Cake actually, and we're going to be using red and green as well. And in our red and green, we're going to be using vermilion and emerald green in the archival ink line. We're going to zoom out just a little here for you. And we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas in red, because every time that I see the sentiment Merry Christmas, I just assume that it should be stamped in red. So I know a lot of you all at home do as well. So I'm just going to ink this up, and when I'm inking a stamp, I like to pat, and then I like to sort of scrub, you know, just either way. This is warped a little, so it's a little hard to get ink on here, but it works really great when I'm stamping as long as there's a good amount of ink on here. So let's stamp this right here, and there's a glare from my light. Okay, and just stamp that sort of in the middle. You know, it's not directly in the middle. So I got it right there, and it's not fully stamped, but that's okay. It can have a little texture type thing to it, and it's not directly in the center, so that makes it even more cool. So then we'll use our smaller acrylic block and stamp some of these Christmas sentiments on here with the red and green and the crumb cake. So I'm going to fast forward this part of me just stamping sentiments. Okay, so after I did all that, and I actually just cut that part out because it was taking so long to stamp all this, but I went through and stamped all these little images and sentiments. I think it turned out really cool, and we're going to mat it onto this blue paper right here. So let's put some HEG on the back of this 3x5 sheet of paper. I found that 3x5 was a great size to do these at, just because it gives you plenty of room to put sentiments, but it doesn't put, you know, you having to look through for too many sentiments or not enough sentiments, or, you know, something like that. So I found that this size was a great size. So put that down right here. Then we're going to take our trimmer and cut this out. Okay, so we matted that on there. I don't know the exact dimensions of the mat. I just like to cut paper and then trim it down, sort of like I did just now. And then we have this card base, which we're going to add this on here, sort of like this, and we might even do some twine over in this corner, and it might take up some of the room. I'm not really for sure yet. Or we might run some at the bottom. Since this is sort of like a background card and it's not too layered, it's sort of good to use twine, and you know, they don't have to read every sentiment, because the Merry Christmas is the main sentiment and the other sentiments is a background. So that's one of the things when you're doing sentiment backgrounds, they don't have to read every word of the background. So I think I want to add some red twine, and I just want to add some, you know, down here at the bottom or over here in this corner. So I'm going to add some twine right here. I'm going to start it right here. Okay, so now we're going to put our layered card, and I just did some twine like that to give added effect to the layer and just to make it look a little bit cooler, since we wasn't going to have a main graphic image. So then we're going to add some of these Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, so after we've got the dimensionals on here, we're just going to put our card down like so. Ta-da! So here's today's finished TNT video, how to make a background out of sentiments. It's really simple, and I encourage you all to try it out. If you try it out, you know, leave a comment letting us know how it turned out for you. So I hope you have a great day, and thanks for checking out the TNT video for Above Ruby Studio today. Bye for now.